Welcome to Southwest History, where the past comes alive in the rugged deserts, forgotten mines, and untold stories of the American West. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most elusive mysteries of Nevada's gold rush, the legendary Lost Breyfogle Mine. Join us as we uncover the journey of two brothers, a hidden treasure, and a search that lasted over 150 years. This is a tale of grit, gold, and the unyielding spirit of adventure. Let's get started. In the spring of 1849, as thousands of 49ers rushed west to California, two brothers, Charles and Joshua Breyfogle, left their hometown of Lockhart, New York. They were determined to strike it rich. With a string of saddle and draft horses and two wagons, they ventured into the unknown. Their journey took them across rugged plains and steep mountains, pushing through harsh deserts. Along the way, they teamed up with fellow pioneers in Columbus, Ohio, joining a caravan bound for the California gold fields. After months of hardships, they finally reached Sacramento on August 14, 1849. But their journey didn't end there. They were determined to find their fortune, so they began prospecting along the promising Butte Creek and Chico River areas. Unfortunately, luck wasn't on their side. After months of fruitless searching, the brothers moved on to the Yuba River, just 12 miles above the gold rush tent city of Marysville, in January 1850. As January 1850 turned into February, Charles and Joshua continued their search for gold along the Yuba River, but again, they met disappointment. The river's waters were shallow and the ground seemed barren. Yet, the brothers were determined not to give up. They decided to head upstream, hoping for a better chance further into the mountains. By March 1850, they reached Goodhue's, a new mining area with better reports of gold discoveries. This time, their hard work began to pay off. After days of digging and panning, they started to find traces of gold in the river bottom and along the banks. For the first time in nearly a year, they began to feel a sense of hope and success. By December of that year, Charles Breyfogle decided it was time to return home, having amassed a small fortune of $20,000. He left his brother Joshua to continue working the claim while he made his way back to New York. Back in California, the gold rush was still in full swing, but Charles had grown tired of the hardships. In 1854, he was elected county assessor in Oakland, but political life would not be kind to him. In 1859, after being accused of mismanaging county funds, Charles was thrown into jail. Though soon exonerated, he was done with politics and decided to go back to prospecting. In 1862, hearing about a new silver strike in Virginia City, Nevada, Charles decided to venture east again. The buzz around town was that gold had been discovered in the Big Smoky Valley, and Charles, ever the opportunist, saw another chance to make his fortune. He opened a real estate office in the mining camp of Geneva, eager to capitalize on the growing interest in the area. However, by the time Charles arrived, the veins of gold in Geneva were already dwindling. Undeterred, he continued searching for new opportunities. His chance came one night at the hotel, where he overheard three men discussing a crude map. From their conversation, Charles was certain they were speaking about the legendary Lost Gunsight Mine of Death Valley. Believing he had found a new lead, he decided to follow them. The next morning, Charles set out after the men, determined to learn more about this mysterious mine. He tracked them across the rugged Nevada landscape, heading toward the desolate stretch between Tonopah and Goldfield. But as he closed in on the group, he was in for a surprise. To his shock, when Charles caught up with the men, he discovered they were not searching for the legendary Gunsight Mine at all. Instead, they were on their way to Texas, intent on joining the Confederate Army. Their journey was taking them south to Los Angeles, where they planned to join a wagon train heading to Texas. After hearing their story, Charles decided to travel with them for a couple of days, curious about what he might learn along the way. For 3 days, the group traveled through the harsh Nevada wilderness. By the third night, they were camped south of Ash Meadows in the Mojave Desert's Amargosa River Valley. Charles, exhausted from the long days of travel, laid out his bedroll apart from the others and drifted into a restless sleep. That's when disaster struck. In the middle of the night, Charles was suddenly woken by screams and shouting. He bolted upright to see the men from his camp under attack by a group of hostile Indians. They were overwhelmed, and Charles watched in horror as the attackers moved in. With no time to think, he grabbed his bedroll and boots, fleeing into the darkness, desperate to escape. Without weapons or provisions, Charles ran blindly through the desert, disoriented and fearful for his life. He spent several grueling days wandering the vast, empty desert, dehydrated and weak, but fortune was on his side. One day, he stumbled upon a spring in the arid landscape. Desperate for water, he drank deeply, trying to regain his strength. But it wasn't just water he would find at the spring. As he rested, he noticed something gleaming in the nearby rocks. Gold. Charles couldn't believe his eyes. There, in the quartz deposits near the spring, he saw rich veins of gold. He quickly took several samples, eager to hold on to this discovery, hoping that one day he could return and mine it. But first, he had to survive the harsh desert and find a way out. With renewed energy, Charles set out from the spring, heading south. For days, he followed the sparse tracks of a wagon trail, hoping it would lead him to safety. Finally, he reached Stump Spring in the Pahrump Valley, in Nevada's eastern Mojave Desert. It was a remote place, but it was here that Charles decided to wait for a wagon train to pass by. Little did he know his trials were far from over. As Charles settled at Stump Spring, he was unaware that a group of Indians had been tracking him. They soon found him, and before he could escape, he was captured. Taken as a prisoner, Charles was forced to work as a slave, enduring harsh conditions for months. His once promising fortune seemed like a distant memory. But just when he thought things couldn't get worse, a Mormon wagon train passed through the area. The members of the wagon train, upon learning of Charles's captivity, paid a ransom to the Indians and freed him. Though he was free, Charles was physically weakened from his time with the Indians, and it took time for him to recover. The Mormon family who helped him gave Charles refuge at their ranch in Mance Spring in southern Nevada. There, Charles was cared for by Mrs. Yunt, the ranch owner's wife. Grateful for their kindness, Charles shared his story with them, including his gold discovery near the spring. He showed them the samples he had kept from the quartz deposit, convinced that he had found something truly valuable. As Charles slowly regained his strength, he couldn't shake the feeling that his discovery was something special. He knew he had to return to the site. However, his physical condition wasn't the only thing holding him back. It was the harsh desert terrain and the years of searching that had taken a toll on him. But there was no turning back now. The lost gold was still out there. After fully recovering, Charles settled in Austin, Nevada, and spent the next 26 years of his life searching for the Lost Breyfogle Mine. He organized countless expeditions to scour the vast region northeast of Death Valley, focusing his efforts on the desert's unforgiving terrain. However, despite his dedication, his search remained fruitless. His obsession grew so intense that he once famously said, "I shall come back a rich man or leave my bones in Death Valley." But as the years passed, the elusive mine continued to elude him. His life became a testament to unwavering determination, yet the mine remained just a dream. Over the years, many speculated about where exactly the Lost Breyfogle Mine could be. Some believed it was located near Las Vegas, others near Salt Spring, and some even thought it was somewhere in California, in the Amargosa River Valley. But the most popular theory pointed to the Johnny District in Nye County, Nevada, near Pahrump. In 1891, a miner named George Montgomery, while searching for Breyfogle's lost gold, stumbled upon rich lodes in the area. This was the start of the Johnny Mine, believed by many to be linked to Charles Breyfogle's discovery. But even after this, the mystery of the Lost Breyfogle Mine continued to captivate prospectors and adventurers who continued to search for the hidden gold. The Johnny District lies in the southwest corner of Nevada, not far from Pahrump. It's a region of rugged mountains and rocky desert, and it was here that some of the richest gold deposits in Nevada were found. To get there, one can travel south from Las Vegas on Interstate 15 and take State Route 16 toward Pahrump. From there, it's a 70-mile drive northwest to the heart of the Johnny District, where mines and placer activities can still be seen on the slopes of Mount Shotter. Many believe that the Lost Breyfogle Mine is somewhere in this area, hidden in plain sight, yet still untouched by modern prospectors. But the mine remains elusive, its location known only to the desert itself. The story of Charles Breyfogle and his relentless search for gold in the desert has become a part of Nevada's legend. Though he never found his mine, his story remains a symbol of perseverance and determination in the face of unimaginable odds. Today, the Lost Breyfogle Mine continues to capture the imagination of treasure hunters and historians. The search for the mine may have spanned more than a century, but as long as the desert stretches out over Nevada, the story of Charles Breyfogle's lost gold will continue to be told, and perhaps, one day, discovered.